You know, when he's saying entertainment, a show or a movie or a series could not exist were it not for the way to broadcast or show it. Now, this movie could not be made in anything but the drive-in generation, because in the words of the great Robert Evans, once you see this poster, this is the movie. The movie's a poster. And if anybody has seen this poster, especially mid-1970s, and Doug Junke, one of our followers of the channel, was commenting on the John Wayne podcast we did on McHugh, and saying, oh, I like these movies, including this film, like, you know, for action, crime, drama, right? A lot of crashes. This was sort of like a Bonnie and Clyde meets Vanishing Point meets, you know, kind of an exploitation movie. Get the title, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. Now, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, a big box office drive-in hit in 1974, is an American road crime drama based on the 1963 Richard Unicus novel titled The Chase, later retitled Pursuit. Now, directed by John Huff, the film stars the great Peter Fonda, at the time the ingenue Susan George, Adam Rourke, and get this, Vic Morrow. Although Jimmy Haskell is credited with writing the music score, the soundtrack contains no incidental music apart from the theme song, Time is Such a Funny Thing, sung by Marjorie McCoy over the opening and closing titles, and a small amount of music heard over the radio. Again, produced by Norman T. Herman, cinematography by Michael Margulies, edited by Christopher Holmes, again, main theme by Jimmy Haskell. Production company was Academy Pictures Corporation, or APC, distributed by 20th Century Fox, released in the spring of 1974, May 17th. Get this, one of the biggest box office hits of the 1970s. It cost $1.14 million, made nearly $30 million at the box office. Very, very direct and very simple plot, but complex to those who didn't get it. Now in this one, two NASCAR hopefuls, driver Larry Rader and his mechanic Deke Summers, successfully execute a supermarket heist to finance their jump into big-time auto racing. They extort $150,000 in cash from a supermarket manager by holding his wife and daughter hostage. Again, probably no federal money to help out. In making their escape, they are confronted by Larry's one-night stand, Mary Coombs. She coerces them to take her along for the ride in her souped-up 1966 Chevrolet Impala. The unorthodox sheriff, Captain Everett Franklin, obsessively pursues the trio in a dragnet, only to find these outmoded patrol cars unable to catch Larry, Mary, and Deke after they ditch the Impala. Get this, for a 1969 Dodge Charger RT 440 at a flea market. As part of the escape plan, Larry's vehicle enters an expensive grid of walnut groves where the trees provide significant cover from aerial tracking, and many intersecting roads with 60 distinct and separate exits make roadblocks ineffective. Now, this was a big influence of the car chase video games of the 2000s and 2010s. Now, the trio evades several Dodge Polaro patrol cars, one of them a specifically prepared high-performance police interceptor that effectively keeps up with the Charger, and even Captain Franklin himself in a Bell Jet Ranger helicopter. Believed they're finally beating the police, Larry and company meet their doom when they collide with a freight train pulled by an Alco S1 locomotive, which unexpectedly emerges from a walnut grove. Now, it's like they had no ending to the movie. He said, why don't we use a train? So, Roddy McDowell also plays a bit part as George Stanton. Now, again, the based on the Chase book, this was Unicus's debut novel. The New York Times called it a brilliantly detailed and breathless tale of pursuit. Now, the story incorporated a phenomenon that was relatively new in 1963. Major auto manufacturers were putting powerful V8 engines into mid-sized cars, the dawn of the muscle car era, and young thieves behind the wheel of these cars were now enabled to run the economy six-cylinder sedans driven by police in many jurisdictions. The protagonists of the chase used such a vehicle, a Chevy, and made use of the checkerboard of roads in the farm country of Illinois to outrun the police, as well as the cover of an approaching thunderstorm. The end of the novel closely matches the film, only with a tanker truck involved. But what a lot of people got was the Bonnie and Clyde thing and the Easy Rider finale, which kind of inspired this finale in this movie, because we all know how Easy Rider ended. It didn't end well. Now, The film was shot in late 73 in and around Stockton, California, mostly in the Walnut Groves near Linden. The supermarket scenes were filmed both at Sutter Hill, Cali and Sonora. The drawbridge jump was filmed in Tracy. The swamp meet scene in Clements. And the climactic train crash was filmed on a Stockton Terminal Eastern Railroad in Linden, near the intersection of Ketchum Lane and Arkdale Road. The Bell Jet Ranger helicopter used in chase was flown by veteran film pilot James W. Gavin, who played the character of the pilot as well, and was actually flown between rows of trees and under power lines as seen in the film. No computer effects. In a commentary on the 2005 DVD and Blu-ray releases, Huff says 2 blue 66 Chevy Impalas, as well as 2 1969 and 168 Citroen yellow Dodge Chargers were used in the filming. As the film was a low-budget project and no more than 3 Chargers could be purchased, a team of mechanics would work on the cars overnight to repair damage, while the film crew would cycle through the available cars throughout the shooting day. Car haulers would follow the filming team with the additional cars as they were available. Now, in the same interview, Huff revealed that the ending in which the Charger crashes in the train was not in the original script. The novel upon the film was based ended with the robbers colliding with a tanker, but the Linden filming location offered a maze of railroad crossings, and the ending was to incorporation with the locomotive. Now, Huff said the lead characters did not die in the script. I did that myself without asking or telling anybody. Consequently, we would not be able to make a sequel because the leading characters were all killed. But a statement I really wanted to make was, speed kills. If you're going to drive 100 miles an hour, you'll get yourself killed, so you better not speed. Now, Fonda said the film was shot pretty much in sequence. We had about 20 exciting stunts and about 5 minutes worth of acting. We had to make our scenes count. Adam Rourke, Susan George, and myself were sort of like the Three Stooges. I guess you could say I had a fine time making the film. It was a lot of fun. Now, the film developers thought that the Dodge Charger was actually bright yellow, so they corrected the film negatives to eliminate the greenish tint of the car. Therefore, the entire movie in theaters, on TV, and on VHS was originally very warm-toned. The color was more corrected in the 2005 DVD release and later Blu-ray releases, and the Dodge Charger became the correct lime green color. Now, when we watch this on TV, if you had a bad colored TV, you would see the green tint of the Charger. But if you had a good TV, it would look like it was intended, again, the bright yellow. Now, Dirty Mary Crazy Larry was released by Fox in spring of 74, and it was a surprise hit, earning North American rentals of $12.1 million, making it Fox's most successful film of the year. By 77, it earned an estimated $14.7 million in theatrical rentals, and with the VHS and video generation, it was one of the earliest VHS hits. Now, Fonda said the film was made a shit pile of money, more money than any film Dennis ever made, Dennis Hopper. He added, I couldn't believe that so many moviegoers had seen the film 4 or 5 times. I could understand that seeing Easy Rider 4 or 5 times, or maybe even The Hired Hand, but Dirty Mary Crazy Larry, heck, I was even embarrassed by the title. Nonetheless, the film established Fonda as a draw in the exploitation circuit, and most of his films over the next few years were action movies, and of course he did a lot of exploitation before that. Now, on February 1877, the film came to broadcast TV, with several scenes cut before the theatrical release reinserted to extend the film's length to the minimum required to fill a standard 2-hour time slot. Those added for TV scenes have never been released to home video. Now, the film received mixed reviews from critics. On the review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes, 44% of 18 critics' reviews were positive, with an average weight of 4.7. Metacritic, which uses, again, also a weighted average, assigned the film a score of 52 out of 100 based on 8 critics, indicating mixed or average reviews. Now, this is an unreviewable movie because it's just a car scene with some acting. Now, Edgar Wright said the film influenced his hit Baby Driver. He said he always felt sorry for the actor Adam Rourke, in it who plays Deke. He's in the movie for the entire thing. You assume in the movie that Adam Rourke is going to die at some point, but he's there right to the end, so it really could be called Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, and Deke. Why does this guy get left off the title? He's been there on the whole time. Now again, one of the earliest magnetic video releases in 1979 on VHS in Beta in October. Now on June 28, 2005, the film was released on DVD through the great Anchor Bay Entertainment as a Supercharger edition. Again, it included a color-corrected and fully restored theatrical version of the film, as well as many bonus features. Now, you can get memorabilia of the movie. I think it's a Johnny Lightning mini car. It was very popular, released a few years ago. Now, on April 12, 2011, the restored film was released again on DVD, this time through Shout Factory, packaged as a double feature with another Peter Fonda film, Race with the Devil. The release contained fewer bonus features than the Anchor Bay release. Now, the same release debuted on Blu-ray for the first time on June 4th, 2013. Now, the exploitation style of the time influenced Tarantino, influenced a lot of directors, because it's hard to explain. You go to a drive-in in 1974 and watched Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. You've been told that the movie is very good. When you see it the first time, it stays with you. It's almost like it's happening in real time, right? But it's not something that you know they're not going to get away, so you're waiting for the denouement. So in that way, it's kind of like a Hitchcock thriller, because you know the famous scene where the ticking bomb is going off, right? You know a bomb's going to go off. Either the cops are going to get him or something's going to blow a tire. Now get this, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're taking it the right way. Majority of the scenes involving the cars, there was no split tires or flats or whatever, or burnouts. That's kind of strange. So either they had very good tires or they had very good, indication that for 90 minutes you could hold the audience. But like I said, it's a quick movie, but not a quick movie. A lot of people have gone back to it because the Peter Fonda acting style, which fucked up John Lennon, by the way. He told John Lennon, I know what it's like to be dead. Peter Fonda was underrated as an actor because what you saw in real life, you saw in the film. And there's been a lot of movies he did before he died, including Ghost Rider and 3:10 from Yuma. The man, you can't take his eye off him. Henry Fonda was 50 times the actor of his son, but Peter Fonda had more charisma, because when you have no talent and make people look at you for what you're doing, Peter Fonda was nothing but an exploitation actor. Him and Dennis Hopper, right? But you couldn't take your eyes off him. And Susan George at the time, like after Straw Dogs, she was considered kind of a Sharon Stone of England, even though we didn't know what Sharon Stone was. But for me, I know 90% of my family saw the movie, and when it came out in VHS, the movie was so popular at the local places where we got it in the early 80s, most of the places the VHS tape would wear out because everybody wanted to rent it. It was like a 2-beer and a pizza movie on a Sunday afternoon. Because if you like cars, if you like women, if you like fast driving, and you like a denouement, and you look at Duel, the way that ended, this influenced this as well. So one influences the other. So that's the story of Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. If you like what we're doing with our vintage 1970 movie podcast, let us know with a like, comment, subscribe, share, super chat. Don't forget, 1970s, late 70s, early 80s, the movies that were big at the drive-in in the mid-70s found a new life on VHF. I would expect between Beta, VHS, video releases, it's got to gross over 150, 200 million since its release. So where the money went, I really don't know. Did it go towards, Orion or Coralco, or what happened? But like I said, somebody never got paid here, and I know for a fact, Peter Fonda can tell you I'm still waiting for the check. God bless his soul. So ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening, and don't forget, requests are always accepted and always highly considered. Have a good one. Bye.